Later in the video, I'll also explain how I grew my credit score over time and how I went from a $300 credit limit to a $22,000 credit limit in less than 2 years. Today, we'll be talking about how to build your credit score over time and your credit limit. This strategy will work if you currently don't have the best credit score or if you don't have enough of a credit history. So this applies to US immigrants or internationals, maybe here on a US visa of some sort. This isn't a problem, it's just that you most likely don't have a social security number or a tax ID number, which means you don't have a credit profile. Maybe you just have bad credit in general. Maybe you're behind on some payments, you have some debt built up. It's never too late to get started and to start fixing your credit now. This will just mean you're in the rebuilding phase. Also, if you're a beginner and you're just getting started into trying to build your credit, this is great, but you don't have a lot of credit history. So it's gonna be a bit of a challenge for you to progress. So it's no secret that Americans truly do struggle with credit cards and managing their credit card debt. The average American family has over $6,000 in credit card debt. Gen Z has over $2,000 in credit card debt, while millennials have over $4,000 in credit card debt. What's interesting is that even college students with their tight budgets and low income, they even have over $1,000 in credit card debt as well. Having a poor credit score can affect a lot of different areas in your life in a negative way. You'll miss out on getting new credit cards with higher credit limits. Financing or renting out a car is going to be a challenge. Financing or renting out a property is going to be a challenge as well. If you're able to finance a car or a property, you're going to be dealt with high interest rates costing you thousands of dollars because of your poor credit score. So the biggest takeaway here is that the credit card system is just a big game. If you understand the basic rules to the game, you can progressively level up, gain a better credit score, while gaining rewards along the way. Having a good credit score can benefit you and your family in many different ways. You'll save thousands of dollars on interest rates when you do decide to get a mortgage or when you decide to finance a car. It'll be easier for you to get accepted for rental housing applications. With higher credit scores come higher credit lines and credit limits, along with many different other types of perks such as travel points, free flights, free hotels, cash back. So the best method to start growing your credit score over time is by using secured credit cards. A secured credit card is a type of credit card that is backed by a cash deposit. The deposit is equal to the total credit limit that you'll have on the card. So if you decide to put down a $200 cash deposit, then your credit limit will be $200 for that secured credit card. This sounds kind of weird, right? Because you're putting down your own money and it's gonna act like a credit card. Well, this makes a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons. You have to understand that building a relationship with the banks is so important. A bank's not gonna trust you because of your credit score to lend you out their money. Here's a quick and easy breakdown of how the whole process is gonna work. First, you're gonna get a secured credit card. Do some research and pick a bank that you're comfortable with. They're gonna require a $200 to $300 cash deposit. That's just the standard. And remember, anyone can get a secured credit card. Even if you're in student loans, just make all your student loan payments on time. Don't default on your student loans, don't go to collections, and you're fine. Step number 2 is gonna be using the secured credit card for 8 to 12 months. Later in the video, I'll talk about some basic rules to follow when you're in the middle of using this card for that 8 to 12 month period. So step number 3 is graduating. So after you've used the secured credit card for about 8 to 12 months, your credit score should be pretty decent now for the bank to trust you. So they're gonna graduate you to an unsecured credit card. They're gonna give you your $200 deposit back. And now you basically just have a real credit card. So congrats. So step number 4 is optional. If all you've wanted out of this video was just to have a good credit score, then you basically be done after step number 3. But if you wanted to build up your credit score and your limit faster, you're basically just gonna apply for a new credit card after every 3 to 4 months and then repeat that process. I'm also gonna be talking about why this helps further on in the video. And that is why these cards are available and a great option to anyone with bad or no credit score. You basically went from having no credit score whatsoever or very poor credit score at that to now having an actual credit card after 10 months. And now from here, the world is your oyster. So assuming you've never missed a payment and you've paid in full, your credit score from this point should be around mid 600s to high 600s, which is pretty good. Different banks should start sending you pre-approved offers in the mail. Because you have a pretty decent credit score now, banks are gonna want your business. So after you've used your first credit card, the unsecured credit card that you just got with the bank, you want to use that for about 3 to 4 months. That's usually the sweet spot. Up until this point, you've graduated from your secured credit card, right? So now you've used that graduated unsecured credit card for about 3 to 4 months, And your credit score now should be within the high 600s to the low 700s. Now you're ready for your second credit card. Try to aim and get a higher credit limit on your second credit card. Wait 3 to 4 months, then get your third credit card. Repeat this process until you're satisfied with the number of cards you have or until you're happy with your combined credit limit. If you're gonna apply for a bunch of credit cards all at one time, it's gonna send red flags to lenders and banks, and basically it's gonna drop your credit score. So don't do that. After every credit card you get, wait 3 to 4, 3 to 6 months, and then get a new one. So be very reasonable when you're applying for new credit cards. Your second credit card can be from the same bank. You can ask them what kind of cards do they offer at the moment, or you can accept a pre-approved offer that banks should be sending you. And it doesn't matter which kind of credit card you get, just pick out one that has the best rewards for you and for your needs, and just try to get a higher credit limit. So usually if you report a higher income, then they're gonna give you a higher credit limit. Also, some plus tips is if you say you're gonna travel a lot, if you say you're gonna use this card a lot for vacation, those are also good points to mention to the bank, because they're gonna increase your credit limit. It's generally a good rule of thumb to have multiple credit cards if used responsibly. Each credit card reports to the credit bureaus each and every month. So if you have multiple credit cards, then that will generate more positive information to these credit bureaus. This increases your credit limit and will grow your credit score faster over time. If you want this to work properly, there are 2 simple rules you must follow. Rule number 1 is be reasonable with your credit card. A good rule of thumb is to act like your credit card is a debit card, right? So if you have money in the bank that can purchase whatever you're gonna purchase on your credit card, then it's fine to purchase that item because you know you have the money in the bank ready to pay it off. The trap here is when you start using your credit card to purchase things that you don't have the money for yet. Like going on Amazon and just deciding to add everything you see on the website into your cart because you think it's a necessity and that you need it. You should be putting very small expenses on your secured credit card. Things such as gas, food. Keep your balance very, very minimal. That way you can pay off your balance every month without breaking a sweat. Rule number 2, pay off your balance in full every month. This is probably the most important rule. Remember how we went over the data of most Americans carrying a balance and having terrible debt? This is why. You don't want to carry a balance in your credit cards over every single month. The banks want you to carry a balance over. That's basically how they make money. Their business model is that you carry your balance over, right? So if you spend $200, but you only make the minimum payment of $15, for example, that $185 is gonna carry over the next month, and then the bank's gonna charge interest on it. And that's slowly how you progress into the trap. You start carrying a balance over and over and over again, month after month. The banks are gonna start charging more and more interest on that debt that's carried over, and then that's how they're gonna make their money. These are the rules of the game, so play the game accordingly. If you know the banks wanna win this game by making it seem appealing to just carry a balance over every month, then don't do that because you know it's a trap. So again, keep your expenses on the secured credit card very, very small. That way it's very easy to pay it off in full every month. This also creates very good financial habits. Your future self's gonna thank you for this, right? Because it's a very strong habit to have, and you're never gonna get into that trap of just carrying a balance over and getting deep into debt. Also, there's this rumor that if you just make the minimum payments on your credit card, that you'll grow your credit score faster. And that's just not true at all. I've heard this advice multiple times, especially when I started out with my secured credit card. I got the advice of just make your minimum payment and carry a balance over. Don't do that. And that's just simply not good advice. You wanna build good financial habits while paying off everything in time and in full. Well, now you've done it. After graduating from your first credit card, after about 10 to 12 months, you should be sitting with about 3 to 4 credit cards with a very good credit score. So congrats. Now I'm going to explain how I personally grew my credit score and my credit limit up to date when I started when I was 21. So it's January of 2020 and I decided I wanted to start building up my credit. Keep in mind, at the time I was here in the US on a soccer scholarship from Canada, so I didn't have a social security number or a tax ID. I had no credit profile whatsoever. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, anyone can get a secured credit card. I get my first secured credit card with Bank of America in January. I put down a $300 cash deposit, so my total credit limit is $300. I made all of my payments on time and paid everything off in full. And in 8 months, Bank of America let me graduate. So I got my initial $300 back. and they gave me a $600 credit limit. At this point, I'm very excited because now I have an official credit card with a decent credit score, around 680 or so. I used this card for another 8 months and continue to put small expenses on the card, paying everything off in full. Nothing changes. It's May 2021, and I decided to get my second credit card with the same bank, Bank of America, but this time getting a $3,200 credit limit with the Bank of America Travels Rewards credit card. Remember, earlier in the video I told you just had to wait 3 to 4 months to get a new credit card, right? So I realistically could have saved 4 to 5 months of my time, and I could have got the second card way sooner. I just didn't know this information at the time. My combined credit limit now is $3,800, and it's been about 1 year and 4 months since I got started with the first card, the secured credit card. My credit score now is in the 700s. I used both of the cards for another 4 months, and now I'm thinking of getting the third credit card. I stick with the same bank, Bank of America, and get a $3,800 credit limit with the new Bank of America Cash Signature credit card. So this puts me up to 3 credit cards with a combined credit limit of $7,600, taking me 1 year and 8 months to get to this point. So now I'm up to 3 credit cards. I'm using all 3 credit cards, staying disciplined with my purchases, and making sure I don't have a crazy balance on each of them. Remember, just because you can buy something doesn't mean you should. At this point, my credit score is around 750, and I'm getting many pre-approved credit card offers in the mail, including American Express offers. I wait 3 months and get my 4th credit card, the American Express Cash Preferred, with a $15,000 credit limit. 1 year and 11 months since I started. Here's an overview of all 4 of my credit cards that I currently have. This is now completely up to date, and in just 1 year and 11 months, I started with a $300 secured credit card, and now up to date, I have a combined credit limit of $22,600. This overview is not to brag or flex in any sort of way. I believe being 100% transparent while showing the exact numbers should not only create trust, but also provide motivation, since you've seen that this is possible now. You can really put yourself in a great financial situation for 2022 if you just follow these basic steps and are a little patient. With that being said, guys, if you found this video helpful, please share it to your friends or family members who you think may benefit from this type of information. Leave a like if you enjoy this content, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll be talking about things like finance, entrepreneurship, health, and fitness in the future. I'll be making all types of different videos. I enjoy these different types of topics, and I enjoy doing a lot of research on them. So let me give you value by giving you valuable information that can benefit your lives. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.